The best way to refine your business is to listen to those that are doing things in an effective way. The people that are actually out there making those relationships grow deeper, seeing more transactions from referrals in their sphere of influence. What we're going to do today is I get a great opportunity for you to kind of be a fly on the wall, so to speak, in another session that I had with the National ReThink Council. What the ReThink Council is it's a gathering of 9 of the most professional, top producing, and some of the up-and-coming agents throughout the Berkshire Hathaway HomeServices network around the nation. We come together, really talk about some of these things. In this session specifically, we're going to talk about how you can generate more referrals with your client base. We're going to talk about some of the things that are happening social media-wise. We're really going to take a deep dive on the things that this group of agents are doing to move their business forward. I know it's going to be helpful for you. Make sure you take some notes, and let's get to it.
We have time at the end, let's go back to it, but let's get into what are other things that we're doing that are best practices, right? Anything that you brought that you can share with us, great, but client appreciation parties. What are you doing to stay connected, to build stronger relationships, to set correct expectations that you feel is best practices? So let's open this up. Who wants to start the game?
Should we be repeating some of the stuff we talked about? Because I feel like we went through it a ton last night.
Let's go a little deeper on some.
Well, some of that stuff we could definitely dive deeper
But of course,
into.
we didn't have a microphone above us, so.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, clean it up a little bit, Heidi.
Sorry.
So a lot of that, right? A lot of last night was marketing things, right? Here was a can opener, things that we're saying. Here were postcards. So a lot of those were marketing things. So maybe we can dive deeper into those.
Well, I got one. The one thing I think could be valuable. And Jimmy taught me something about how I have meetings with my staff and then how I run a sales meeting. I feel like that's really important. If you have a team, so I'm not even sure if that's valuable if you guys don't have teams, but like running a meeting consistently every week, it's been a good recruiting tool for us because people want that. They want to be part of something. They're like, oh my God, you have meetings, you go over stuff, like you track your numbers. We're like, oh my, yeah, that's big. And that's a fun thing. Especially if you do it right, and I did it wrong for a long time too.
So talk about tracking numbers, because tracking numbers, whether you're a team or an individual, should be part of your business.
And we tell everyone on our team.
That should be a best practice. That should be a basic practice.
It's a basic practice. Even if you're a solo agent.
What are you tracking?
Well, I tell, look, everyone, you don't work for me, you work for yourself, but you're choosing to align with me because of the value you provide. So let's not get it twisted. You're on my team, you're running your own business, you're 1099, you don't report to me, you're an independent contractor. So you have to set the table like that. Like, don't come to me as this accountable for your own performance, personal responsibility, some core values there, but that's not what we're talking about. The meetings, for us, that's been really valuable, is this is how you hold people accountable. They're accountable to the numbers and to each other. So if we're all one team here, and we run around the room every week, we show up, you put on something nice, because you know you're coming into the office, 9 o'clock, you're not gonna be late, bagels and coffee, and someone's got to run it, just like we're talking about these ReThink things. It all starts with the leader. You have to have a good leader and people who are willing to participate, and then still you have a 50-50 shot this thing might fail. But if you have that, this could work, and we just track the numbers. So we go right to Heidi. We tried to track a lot of different things. Chris, Stewart, and Gino helped me with this, which is the 4 disciplines of execution. They've been doing this stuff forever. We always start with the lagging indicators, which is typically the only things people track. And lagging indicators is all the stuff that's already happened. But I think this is critical. Around the room, this is literally how the meeting goes. All right, Heidi, you're up first. How many active listings do you have? So it's active listings. And a lot of people have 0, and that's okay, but I want them to say 0 every week until it's not 0. And then you say, yeah, good job, you got your first one. And then everyone's clapping for them, and it's very friendly. No one's beating anyone up here. That's another thing. We're not here to tear people down. Active listings. Units pending volume. Those are huge. Units pending volume. And then year-to-date closed units, year-to-date closed volume.
So your pending volume is under contract?
Under contract.
We just call those opens. Talk about opens and closes. You open escrow, close it.
You don't even care what you call it?
Yeah.
I want to know. How much money are you making? This isn't rocket surgery. We want to know. So those are the 5 things. And it's very powerful because people say that with more pride. I'm telling you, people want us to report quality numbers more than they even want the paycheck at some point. It is like when someone has a big week, they're in there early, they're ready to go.
Measure grows, so.
And everyone's like, and then you're just like, how did you do that? Hey, you picked up 3 listings this week. wow, how'd you do that? Where'd they come from? And it's a little mini mastermind of sorts. We say no one dominates because it's like, hey, look, we got 3 minutes on you max. Because we got to get through 27 people.
I have a question for you. So, do you participate as a leader? I mean,
yeah.
Do you feel like it's productive when you're kind of, obviously way outselling everyone there? I mean, do you feel like it? Because that's my thing. Is I'm always like a little nervous to be like, and everyone's like, oh, I have this 5 pending, and it's like I kind of want to. I don't want to like seem like I'm bragging to them,
I have a guy on our team who actually owns 10% of our team who outproduces me by a long shot, and I always go with him first. And the joke is I'm saying we're just going with Matt first to show you what's possible, and his numbers are freaking incredible. Right now, he's 39 pending for 27 million. He's already closed 30 million year to date. And he's so, doesn't look like he'd be slick. He's so unbecoming, but he's just.
You look at it as like an aspirational thing for everyone else.
This is just, he doesn't dress up, doesn't look good. Quite frankly.
I don't know why he keeps looking at us every time. Talks about old people.
Doesn't look
talks
good.
about not looking
Looks
good.
bright.
I don't know how they made any money.
Hey, look, this group looks good. I'm telling you, the guy wears the same zip up every week. And I told this to his face. I actually pulled him aside today. I said, dude, Jesus Christ. He had a holes. We just double-ended Mike Phelps' house. His listing, my buy side. We had a ton of money. Had holes in its sleeves. I said, enough. Enough. Go to Lulu. Go wherever. Not that. Anyway. So yeah, some people produce.
Just not that. Just
But it's people like it because it's a great opportunity to celebrate victories. And then if someone's, and you have so many people, like some of our best agents have put up zeros for 4 months. And then you take them aside and say, hey, you keep going, man. We believe it. It's fine. This is normal. Most people fail, first of all. Most people, it takes 2 years to get going. And these people blow up, and it's a great example. And and then the other thing, so that we go over the leading indicator, or the lagging stuff. This is pure production. And then we also pick a couple leading indicators that we want to track. And for us right now, it's how many open houses have you done this year? Because there's a direct correlation. It's just right there. Oh, look, TJ's done 12 open houses, and he's got 18 units pending. How many of those from open houses? 7. And you look and say, and this right after this, we pull up all our listings and say, who's doing open houses this weekend? Right. We want these bodies in these houses. I mean, it is your job.
By the way, people have got away. We've got lazy. Oh, we got low inventory. We don't need to do an open house. It's going to sell in a day. Listing is a vehicle to pick up the business. Sierra's last night was prime time on a follow-up system from open houses. Mm-hmm. So we got to make sure that everyone's getting on that because there's a system there now to stay connected, to build a relationship, to start doing business. Let me ask you a question. Because my top people, if I walk down the hall, I see Megan Owens, like, where are you at year to date? Closed and pendings, I'm at 72 transactions and 27 million. Every one of my top, Tasha Moss, Adam Bright, I walk down the hall, they all know that number. If you don't know that number, you're not running a business.
Well, they have to know, because they're not going to say, oh, I don't know. Well, then you're fired.
I mean, I ask them walking down the hall all the time. Same thing. Would everyone on your team know those numbers? And you can track different numbers, but in my organization, they know. When I get a number from, I know it's closed and pendings year to date for units and for sales volume.
And GCI, you should know GCI too.
And GCI, but we don't say that in the middle of the hallway.
No, but you should know it in your head.
They know that. Yeah, because we're about making money.
Right.
In Omaha. I don't know about Baltimore, but.
Omaha's about units, but.
So, yeah.
Omaha's about units.
Yeah.
So, that meeting's really good, and it's so quick, and everyone participates, and then we pull up all of our listings, and by the big piece of the 4 disciplines of execution, which we won't go into the whole thing, is the compelling scoreboard. So we have these giant screens, 4 of them.
Gecko?
Huge. We did, now we're using Google Data Studio.
Okay.
It's the same.
Got it.
But it looks awesome.
Good.
And yeah. And it's Google, all good. Hey, I'm a huge Google guy.
It's not even.
We ping it there with all of our Apple so it works. Now, all the screens, this is nice. The screen looks so cool and everyone can see what everybody's doing. Here's all the pending, all those 5 things, active listings, units pending, close, year to date, blah, 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 are all up in visual, so big. And Google Data Studio, you have to have like a...
I called it Gecko board. That's a different
Well,
one.
Gecko
You
board.
got to pay for it. We used to use Google Data Studio.
It's Geico board.
My
right?
Gecko board.
Geico?
Yeah.
Gecko, whatever that is.
It's like 150.
Hey,
Warren Buffett knows that.
Andrew, if you don't mind, one of the things I think
Oh, wow.
is the reward system. I mean, you've talked to me about as you try to encourage. So I think as a leader, and as you guys have more and more people as a part of your team, some of the little things you do, it's not little. I mean, these are big deals. Like you want them to have that aspiration. So talk about like stuff that the suits and stuff you've done in the past.
Oh, well, we're all about making people feel good, part of the community. But it's like, people look forward to that on Tuesday. We canceled it this week because I wasn't here. So you have to have someone running it. And everyone's like, oh, damn, we're not having the meeting. I had such a good week. Brutal. And then we're always throwing out awards like, hey, if someone, we have quarterly goals is one big thing that we started doing this year. Q1. Anyone who hits their Q1 goal, whether it's units or volume, if you hit one of them, we're taking you out. And I had like 3 young guys who had a great quarter. And I said, hey, man, my custom suit guy's coming. Why don't you just meet me at this day? We're gonna dress you up. All custom down. They're like, oh my, these like, you know, they're 25, 26, 27.
One of the dudes on my team that just closed his first deal. We bought him like.
What a cool, someone did that for me when I was
That's right.
a title guy.
And you don't forget it.
I'm like, dude, I love that guy.
Yeah.
It's got your name in it.
Curtis, you did the same thing? What did you do? What are you saying?
Got him a suit,
Yeah.
yeah.
For
for
first
his first deal,
transaction?
His first transaction.
You don't think they're telling all their friends?
Plus,
Oh,
it
my boss got me.
and I mean, now he looked, and then he loves to go to open houses because he wears that suit.
Yeah.
Look good, feel good.
I'm
Yeah.
a big
What, Dion?
believer in like
That's
that
right.
as well.
Yeah, play good. Yeah.
Big believer in what?
Sierra, do you want to talk
Like-
about the follow-up program
Yeah.
from open houses now that we're
Getting
going down
them
that a
set,
little
like
bit?
making them
Because
feel
that was,
good.
Yeah.
because that
Really
was
good.
themselves and,
That was really
the
good.
praise.
See if I have it. Yeah, good.
My thing is just to push back on the postcards thing. I love it, but it's like, if I have their name and number, why am I mailing them? I'm just gonna take them down.
Well,
I gotta
I mean,
mail them.
I think both or all 3.
It's like for the people that aren't hot, that you can't quite get face to face with, you just mail
Or
them.
they're ignoring you or something, you can harass them in the mail.
Because you're doing this over time,
You just chalk them.
Yeah.
right?
I do.
If you got someone
8
hot, you're gonna
weeks.
say, you're gonna take them comps and go try to have
Yeah,
a call
if
to
they're
action,
hot.
start showing
This
them
is-
tomorrow.
This
Kick your
is
door in.
for,
This is for nurture, long-term
Yes.
nurtures.
this is 8 weeks, so the first, I mean, it just explains the buying process. It's for people that aren't pre-approved.
But you're staying in
Kinda
front of
just
them.
looking, yeah. So it's 8
Sierra,
weeks.
talk through each one of them and what the purpose of each week's card is.
So I kind of dumbed down the buying process. The first step is the buyer consultation. So we would meet with you, discuss your home buying process. The second is after our meeting, we would get you pre-approved, and it talks about how you have to be pre-approved in the in the seller's market, and we have a bunch of lenders that we can help you up with. After you get pre-approved, you obviously start searching for homes. So it talks about, we'll figure out what kind of criteria you guys want. After that, obviously, we'll submit an offer. The postcard talks about when we find the one, we'll submit an offer, blah, blah, blah. After that, we'll do inspections. Says a quick thing about it's time to schedule inspections. We'll help you with an inspector. After that is your loan approval. You'll get an appraisal and the lender will order that. You'll get your credit pulled and all that. After that, we'll order title work, which is actually hand in hand, but still. And explains the title company will search this, make sure the title is cleared. And then the last step is moving day.
So a lot of this is breaking down your buyer's guide almost to a weekly follow-up.
Yes,
to
this
build
is
that.
just for buyers that aren't like ready to rock and roll.
Right.
To
Things
just,
like
They
QR
don't have an
code too,
agent.
explaining it could be good.
yes, a QR code would be good.
Do you ever have people show up and say, I have all 8 of these, and they keep them? You ever had that happen?
No.
No? So it's like good stuff, but like, I'm thinking like if randomly I got week 7, I'm like, oh, the title work, what the fuck is that? My wife sees
number
it, she
4, 5,
throws it
and
away.
6.
That's a good idea though.
Yeah.
The buyer's guide is steps, like that's,
We'll pass it around.
I really like that.
it
Just
steps you
looks
through
good.
pricing.
It does
or
look good.
Is that 'cause you
buying
have to
house.
drive?
It's
Or
pretty
is it
similar to that,
Dropbox?
yeah.
So talk about the
Oh,
production of
yeah.
that and what made that, because most people don't have this. If some, you know, if let's say Duncan wanted to do this, what would you say start with? Obviously you got a model here, but what are the important parts of it?
So if they're actually ready to rock and roll, I bring them into the office and I go through the buying process, like all the paperwork, like here's, and then like what to expect in the inspection period, how long it is, the appraisal period, all that stuff. And then I get their criteria, their wants, their needs, their information, all that stuff at the buyer consultation. We don't go look at houses usually that day.
Do they
Just
sign a
like-
buyer rep that day?
Huh?
Do they sign a buyer representation that day?
I'm really bad about that.
Does anybody have an exclusive buyer's agency sign?
I do.
You do?
Oh, I do
I sign one
eventually,
every
but
time.
Well, I want to talk
Rare,
about that
really.
today.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
good.
I do it when they make an offer.
yes,
Yeah,
so do
me
I.
too.
I do it after showing one house, and after that, you get.
So if
one
they go
free
by
one
for
that
sell
day.
by owner, you're getting paid.
I'm getting paid,
I would definitely want to talk
and
about
I've been paid.
Okay.
I don't. I'm just bad about it. I also
Most
feel
people
like
don't.
if they don't want to work with me, I'm not going to twist their arm into working with me. Like,
But you probably
So
let
I'm
them
not
out.
gonna go show them houses.
Molly, you'd probably let them out of it anyway though, right?
Oh, God, yeah.
If they All of a sudden, they didn't want to work with you, you'd let them out.
Well, I tell them that in the beginning, but I also say this is specifically because there's a chance we're gonna go under contract
But
with
if
a
they're
full
gonna
sale by
go
owner,
through a
and I'm
model
gonna
house
get
and new
paid.
construction or for sale by owner, then you want to be protected.
Right.
Well, in my buyer's consultation, I talk about new construction and for sale by owner and stuff like that, so they know that I funnel everything through me.
Yeah.
So,
It's good.
So
I
that's
mean,
smart.
I haven't
You're setting
been
an
burned, but-
expectation.
I love your definitions, like on the other one, not this one,
it's
but
on
yeah.
that.
It's nice. I was like, oh yeah.
Are we
that's
diving into that now, the buyer?
Well, look, can we talk about that real quick? So what's the message that, after the first showing, is that what I heard you say?
Yeah, I'll give them one freebie and that's it.
Okay, so role play, what do you say?
I say, guys, that was a great experience, right? You know, I feel like we're really honing in on what you're looking for. I feel like, you know, give me some feedback. Did you enjoy that? Was this, you know, and so we have like a conversation.
Yeah.
And I say that's great. Going forward, here's your resource. However, I do have a little bit of skin in this game. I hope you do too. There's a form we have to fill out to ensure that I'm gonna get paid. Because as a buyer's agent, you don't actually pay me. You could walk in at any point and somebody will say, oh, I'll help you with that. What you don't realize is they're actually signing themselves up to get paid when you think you're working with me and you're gonna end up working with them. So in terms of complete transparency and clarity, I have a form I need you to fill out. There's a chance we're gonna end up going to the builder, we're gonna go up against a for sale by owner, and they're not gonna wanna pay me. So it's my job to earn my pay. I can't do it unless I have this form. So if you'll let me, this is how we do it. If not, maybe this isn't for us. If we get involved in this together and it's not for us, you discover a little bit down the way, shoot me a text message and we're done, and that's fine. And I've only ever had one person not sign it, and then I convinced him to sign it by saying, I will write just the address of the home I'm showing you today on this line. I ended up selling
You
my
tell them,
house.
you tell them they can cancel at any time for any reason via text,
If I
right?
get a text.
So it's like,
Well, but if they go
They
buy it for
never
sale by
do
owner,
that.
but they don't.
They don't, yeah.
Right.
It's almost like having you can cancel the listing agreement at any time.
Right.
They never
Mentally.
do. It's like,
Mentally,
you sign
yeah.
up for a gym, you never cancel it. It's like 2 years later, you're like, I'm still paying $30 a month on that.
but it's almost like you never signed anything, in fairness, right? They say cancel anytime
Legally.
via text.
They
Right.
sign-
Psychologically,
They psychologically sign something, right?
Duncan, what do you say? And when do you do it?
It's case by case basis. So if I'm working with an investor or a builder or a developer, we start looking at all the land and commercial stuff and all that kind of thing, and I get the gauge that they're going to want to buy not only one but multiple of them. I say, all right, look, I know you're going to be doing a lot of business. I know you're going to be doing a lot of buying and selling. I want to be the one person that you come to for every single bit of property that you're looking at and everything that you need the information on. If you sign this for me, you've got my cell phone number. Anytime you need anything, doesn't matter what time of day, I'm gonna be there for you. But if you don't
So
sign
you're
it,
getting a
then you're
developer
kinda,
to sign that.
I've gotten 2 custom builders to sign it so far. So that's
That's a beast.
all of
horse
their
a different
sale.
color.
So that's all of their land purchases.
Right.
I've got that
They probably
signed.
read
I
it.
put the date for like 10 years, but it's still.
But now if they're buying from a developer, if the builder goes buys in a developer where they're not paying a commission, you're not getting paid on that. If they're buying lots already developed, right?
Depends.
Because most builders are buying directly from developers in our market, and there's no commissions to be paid.
So the builders that I'm working with on that, they're buying vacant land, undeveloped. They're not building, or they're not buying any lots that are
That are part of subdivision.
Right.
Okay.
If they are, that's when I go directly to the developer and I'm like, hey, are y'all looking to sell that off? And then I try to get both sides of the deal that way. So
But if a developer's saying, I'm selling to 8 builders, and you're one of the 8 builders,
right,
you're not gonna get paid on that.
probably not.
Okay.
But 9 times out of 10, I'll still list the house that they're going to put on
Right. So
there.
you're gonna
Yeah,
want to get
absolutely.
paid. You want to do whatever's good for the client.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not, it's like she said, I don't want to twist the
Right.
arm into working with me. If it's good for both of us and it's beneficial for both of us, then yeah, absolutely. And then with my first time home buyers and people like that, once you got the rapport built with them, after you do the end of the buyer consultation, be like, look, I really want to work together with you. If you feel comfortable with doing this, sign it whenever you're ready for it, but I'm not going to show you any properties until we at least come to terms on something.
I'm with Duncan. I treat it on a very much a case by case basis. So, yeah, exclusive buyer agreement. So 99% of my business is Sphere. So they already have the inherent layer of trust with me. Like they're not going anywhere, right? You know, I'm going to do a good job with them no matter what. But if it's kind of like one of those fly by the night, like they called my sign, they wanted to see one of my listings, they don't like it, but they want to start working with me, then I present that in that case. And just say, you know what, I'm willing to commit to you. You know, you're getting a top producer. You're going to end up getting somebody that's going to get you into a place. they have a lot better chance than anybody else. And so, you know, if I'm committing to you, I expect you to commit to me and just drop it on their lap. Most of the time I send it through Dot Loop anyway with the consumer guide, and it just, you know, bada boom, bada bing. So.
Mr. Worldwide.
Bada bing.
We always just do it after the buyer consult, so I always say, when I'm in the buyer consult, I say, part of my job is always, every time that we talk, I'm gonna tell you what to expect next, because my job is to reduce as much stress as possible, and I find that when people don't know what's going on, they panic, and then they get stressed. And so at the end of the buyer consult, I would say, okay, next steps. I'm gonna be sending you paperwork once we get off of here. My assistant in 2 hours sends it to them. And I was like, I cannot negotiate on your behalf until that paperwork is signed. Go ahead and sign it, because what you don't want is something to hit the market. We're running out there trying to get there in time, and you haven't signed the paperwork yet, and I can't negotiate on your behalf. And it's just done. And I don't have
That's a good way to do it.
That's a good
which
way
is
to-
easy,
yeah.
and there's not questions.
Right.
And they want me for my negotiation skills.
And you say it so confidently, so did you. Like if I was a consumer, I'd say, yeah, okay,
Right,
fine,
they're,
I'll sign it. Just
right,
sign it, yeah.
they're just assuming it's gonna happen, which is the approach to take. That's how you have
Yeah.
to communicate that message, right?
Well, I just dedicated 45 minutes talking them through the buying process.
Right.
You did the what's in it for them. It's like, so I can go out there and dominate.
Yeah.
And you're saying, I'm gonna make this an easy, simple, stress-free transaction for you, which people will pay a premium for today, right?
Absolutely.
You know, it's interesting, as I talk to agents around the country, there is less and less of this buyer time, consultative buyer time up front being used today than I've ever seen. Just less of it. Are all
And it's
of you
probably more
doing-
needed today than ever before.
Yeah.
We're
I think the whole-
convincing them
for-
to
even
waive
for us,
appraisals.
too.
We're convincing them
Yes.
to pay over asking, like.
But it
Yeah.
sounds like
Set
all
the
of you
expectation up
have
front.
really good buyer consultative time up front, right?
Yeah, we don't
Have
lose
to.
buyers.
I
Yeah,
always
they
tell
say
my
it's
buyers,
not
I'm like,
issues,
by the
yeah.
time we're done working together, you're gonna be a straight real estate investor. Like, I will have taught you everything you need to know, like, so that they walk away like, oh, I have confidence at the end of this, I know exactly what I'm doing.
Go get your license now.
So many of them call me later, like, I'm gonna be at my license, I'm like, okay,
As long as you work for me.
that's right. It never works out, but yeah.
That's what
It's
I'm
because all the leads,
So-
everything's going lead gen.
It is.
So like you have to be, if a Zillow lead comes in, or whatever lead comes in, they say, I want to go see this house at 4, I think you're freaking crazy to not meet them at that house at 4.
Yeah.
Oh, but they're not
Yeah, that's
pre-approved.
what's so scary.
I don't even care if it's pending. I
You
tell
go
them
meet their,
You know, get in front of
Really?
them.
I
yeah,
agree.
you better get, you better get there.
Because houses are selling, too many houses are selling in one day.
You have to
Gotta do
assume,
everything,
you have to
background.
assume these people aren't broke and be like, well, if you don't do all these things,
Yeah,
then
you
I
don't
don't
go show
know.
them
I'm not
for
worried
3
about them
months.
being broke, I'm worried about them
But you
being
show them on day
dangerous.
one, I agree.
Well, hey,
It's
that's a
different, yeah,
fair
that's
point.
different.
That's a fair point.
Yeah.
That's what
What
I'm
was
worried
that?
about.
The
I said
safety
I'm not
thing.
worried about them being broke, I'm worried about them being dangerous. Like
Got
maybe
it.
this house at 4,
Yeah,
I'm like,
Hey,
oh,
that's
let's
fair.
send me right
Yeah,
in.
that might be a good
Never
topic.
do
The
that.
That's fair.
forewarn
Yeah.
app tells you if
Forewarn's
they've got
great.
got a
Forewarning is-
background.
I
has a
wouldn't let
background
my
check
wife
on
do
that.
that.
I could tell you about
FORE.
Vince's speeding
Go
ticket
meet some-
98 from Fort Worth.
That's exactly right. I don't want y'all looking at that. Yeah.
He's better
Guys,
now.
relationship building, client appreciation parties, you know,
I do 4 a year.
so talk about what they are.
Okay, I do.
And also, how do you promote them?
Well, I can send you guys the app, but my invitation for the one I have this a week from today. I do a brewery event. I do a like a bar. We're doing a bar event. It's pretty much all around alcohol. I don't mean it to be that way. It's just how it's kind of
That's what
worked out.
sells.
And then we have a fun center bar area in Houston. It's called Patterson Park, and I just do that because that's also family too. Like the kids can come. It starts with, the reason I do them is one, because I want people to feel appreciated, and two, it gives me something to talk about that has nothing to do with real estate, right? So first I create an invitation on Canva, and I text it to everybody, and then I follow up with a phone call, and then I send an email, and then I follow up with a phone call.
So if you're texting out to hundreds of people, is that a mass texting
Mass
platform that you
text,
have? Okay.
And then I follow up with a handwritten thank you card, and those are the hardest ones. And recently, when we were at convention was when I found out about this, what is it, Evernote or whatever that writes them for you. So I'm not actually handwriting them anymore because this has grown so fast. But yeah, when we get there, I bring some kind of, and I took this from Heidi last year, or actually a lot of this that I learned last year was the swag that they get when they get there. So like I have some kind of fun koozie or some kind of fun, something
Right.
that it represents where we are. So this, we're going to Highline next week, which is a high-end bar with an outdoor area in Houston, downtown. And so I ordered wine glasses that have my logo on them. Like they're the plastic ones, but they're like the little stemless.
Oh, really? Plastic?
Plastic, sorry.
No, just kidding.
She's about making money.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Way more better than what I'm doing.
But the fun thing about these also were when we're sitting at a closing table and I sit with clients, I'm like, now you're part of the family. You get to come to all of our family events. We have so many family events every year. Here's what we do. And I just give them a quick rundown. Like I have a little sheet. I'm like, here's our rundown. Try not to miss it because it's really fun. And if you're going to travel for, Christmas, let me know because I won't order a pie for you, but you're really going to want the pie. And I just like let them know all of it. And I tell them it's our family events. So that's what I do. Good.
It's really good.
One of the best ones that we've done was we rented a movie theater when one of like the Disney movies came out.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And that was huge. I work with a nonprofit that's like mentors at-risk youth. So we invited some of them and we had kind of like co-sponsored it together.
Right.
And it was like a really, really cool thing to see all the families.
So how are you reaching out to them?
Mostly phone calls and emails. They have their own database of people it's called Teach One to Lead One. And then I had all my clients and say, hey, we donated on your behalf to this organization. Can you come celebrate with us? And
So I like
it's
that
kind
you're
of
tying charity together with an event. Now,
It was
the
really
problem
cool.
on a movie theater is you have limited seats.
We had three. We did three.
So you were comfortable, you were confident you would not sell out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We had like kind of a list of people and like please RSVP by so
Okay, because that's why I've seen on movie theaters that you really kind of need more of an RSVP and thing.
Yeah.
We're limited, and so it's first come, first served that we got these.
It was cool though. It was really, really neat.
Those are always
Yeah.
good things.
Anytime you do something for somebody's kids.
Yeah.
Let me mention one little, I guess the way Andrew says it, pro tip on this.
Hashtag.
One of the things that you can do is, instead of the letter coming from you that you sponsored on that, almost every organization is more than willing to send a letter on their letterhead stating that the donation was made by you in their honor and the benefits of that. Because it gives the opportunity for that charity to kind of sing their own praises as well. And it hits a little different when it comes from the charity than it comes from you. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's one of
for
those
sure.
where you let them brag on what you did
They're
for
also
them. So
able to have that
Interesting.
person in their database.
that's exactly right. Yeah.
Teach one to lead one. I like
Yeah.
that. That's the new slogan for ReThink.
Others, creative
Teach one
ideas
to
of what you're doing for appreciation. I do want,
I like it.
have you not done any appreciation
I've
parties?
done one, but I have one on Saturday.
So what's it gonna be?
We have a fireworks show. My friends own this brewery. They opened up this awesome brewery. It's in Havre de Grace by the water. Awesome location. And we were supposed to have it last Saturday. The problem with doing something outside was we were gonna rain, and I canceled it. I got $15,000 of fireworks.
But
The
what'd you
biggest
grant?
mortars, nothing. I'm not doing it right. I know.
You get a
But
permit?
I invited. We got permits. We got pyrotechnics. Like this is gonna be. People are gonna go out there and say, "Oh, fireworks show." It's way bigger than the 4th of July fireworks shows at the country clubs because it's residential. This is some serious mortar work. And of course the lenders and the title companies are paying for it, but I got hundreds of t-shirts and cups, we got $2,000 of kegs. And the one thing that I'm doing that I thought was smart, and knowing what I know now, I'd do it totally differently. But my videographer's gonna be there, of course, and when we're handing out these cups and t-shirts, and I'm just kind of manning the tent saying what's up to everybody, I'm gonna ask for video testimonials to say, and they're all my friends at this point. Like we're drinking beer. We'll say, hey, come over here. Remember when I helped you out on that home inspection thing? Say something cool. Say something like, say that I'm the freaking man right now into the camera. Okay, so you got one. I got one. But then I'm gonna coach him too. Like, hey, no, this is
Get them
serious.
drunk first.
Yeah, but just say. And if you had, I'm gonna get
Repeat after me.
500 video testimonials. I'll probably get like 100 of them.
Put
And
that
maybe
all
we
on
use
your
it, maybe
Google or
we don't.
business page.
And it's not just for me, it's for my agents. Look, there's 30 agents here too,
Right.
so I just want to lead by example. Like, see what I'm doing, Kyle? Don't be shy. Tell that's your client. Tell her mom how proud she is of her daughter because you helped her buy that house. It doesn't matter what it is, just capture it.
Andrew, a good thing too, what we've done in the past with the video testimonials, we will then take and put that in a quote and send it to them if they've not done a review before on Zillow, on Realtor.com, wherever you want it, and just say, hey, we did this. It was great seeing you.
Copy and paste.
If you don't mind, take you 2 minutes, copy and paste this, here's the links to it, and you pop it with a couple different things also.
Here's one that Shannon's gonna do, but she won't let me share it
Yeah,
at
it's a
home.
million things you do.
She hasn't done it yet. She was gonna do it in COVID, she's put it off a couple times. Is rent a hot air balloon, take it out to an open space, just have, grilling out dogs, burgers, beer, stuff like that. We were gonna do it at our house when we had vacant lots across, but now they've all got filled in houses, so we can't do it. But just something that they would not normally do, that most people have not done. Come, bring your
I
kids.
like outdoor stuff. For me, it gotta be.
How did you get the word out on the fireworks? I mean, this is a big event. You want to make sure you get the.
Yeah, how'd you promote it?
We did So my most recent hire is like our second admin staff. Used to be an event planner for Microsoft. And that's one of the reasons I really liked her, and she's really hands-on. She's made my life, it's the best money I've ever freaking spent. I paid like 45 grand. It's like unbelievable what she does. Put together all those folders, like everything, so I just focus on more dollar productive stuff. But she said, I got this. She created a Facebook page. She created an Evite page. She got everyone's database with all the agents know. Because I give them ownership of this too. Like, hey, we're doing this for you. This is not about me. This is about you and you and you. Get all your past clients, and you know what? Invite your friends and family too. Invite your sphere. This doesn't have to be someone you've done business with. We want to grow your business.
Are all of you making calls and texts the days leading up to it?
Yeah.
Because you can invite them today for 3 or 4 weeks from now,
exhausting.
but those couple days before are an intense
When it's not about the
text
event,
and
it's
call.
about
Is
the
that
invitation.
right? It's
Yeah.
right, because
don't
70% of the people are not going to show up.
Right.
Yes.
You have to smile before they answer.
That's the important part to remember out of all of this. It's the excuse to call. You
Yes.
want everyone on your team to call.
Yep.
And the text and the call is just one to remind you,
Yeah.
we've got the client appreciation part
Can't wait to see
tomorrow,
it.
it's at blah, blah, blah on this date. And you can get a group text on a lot of those, you can boom, 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 keep start going on those.
Husband
But the
and wife.
reach out,
Bring a friend, bring a friend.
call
the
worst,
invitation.
first, right, because,
Yeah.
right, you want to connect with them.
And then we also, afterwards, if they went, we'll call them and be like, hey, thanks for coming out, that was funny, whatever happened. And we connect, and then if they didn't come, we
Yeah.
still call.
Yep.
And say, hey, this is the next one we have coming up.
I always tell
They
everybody,
would love to see you next
I tell
time.
everyone to call for the people that came, because if you got 100 people
Yeah.
for a 2-hour event, you're talking a minute and a half to each person, right?
Various, yeah.
It's great to see you, wish I had more time to talk to you. And then there's a lot of those, which I want to lead into next after some couple more clients. It's an excuse to, okay, let's go have a drink, a coffee, a lunch,
Yep.
right? Who's my there's going to be 10 or 15 or 20 that I want to get together because they're my best lead sources anyway, that I need to get out to build a deeper relationship other than just an invite to that, right? So there's an excuse for that group, target them for sure. Any other ideas of what we're doing here?
Yeah, I got a couple of things. We do something as an office, but anybody can do it alone too. So our office is pretty cool. It looks like a coffee shop when you walk in, but we've got like little conference rooms and offices. So once a quarter we do an event called Cork and Canvas. So we reach out to the people if somebody knows an artist, like a local artist, and if they want to showcase their art. So we have 3 or 4 artists come and they each get a room. And then they put up their art.
That's good.
And then we invite all of
That's
our
really good.
clients, all
Super
of our
cool.
clients, family, friends. We invite them. They come and we have like some finger foods, and obviously we have wine. We sip on wine. We have some music playing in the background. It's very chill, very laid back. We do it like on a Wednesday or Thursday from 5 to 7. You get a lot of people that come up, especially Nashville's like an 8 city. A lot of people are moving to town. They don't have friends, and that's a chance for them to meet
Right.
and make some friends. So it's really cool. But then the artists get a win too because they get to showcase and sell their art too.
Right.
So it's a
We're
win-win.
promoting the hell out of it too.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're getting their spheres.
Well, so I love when you get other vendors that do a co-event with you where they're inviting their people
Right.
that you don't know many of, and you're inviting your people, so you both can win out of
Yeah,
that.
Thursday, a week from today, that's with my financial advisor.
Right.
And so he's bringing all his.
He's bringing all of his
I'm bringing
clients.
them.
That's
And that, because the way we split that, like, I think the whole thing's gonna cost me right around $500. It's open bar, 2 hours.
These
food,
things,
whole
by the way,
thing.
even if you're paying and the vendors are not paying, it will always
Always be aware.
pay for itself.
Yeah.
Yeah, another thing.
Tenfold,
But he's paying the
fivefold, I
rest.
promise you.
He's paying for everything else.
Yeah.
So your clients, they have their businesses of their own. Make sure you invest in their businesses.
Yes.
So
Yes.
right when COVID happened, one of my clients, he's also a business partner now. He has a bar downtown, not on Broadway, but right off of Broadway, and I rented the whole place. It didn't work out because of COVID and whatnot. It was right around then, but he renovated his whole place since COVID. It actually happened in July. So I'm renting out the whole thing for a Wednesday from like 5 to 10. And I'm gonna have some swag. I'm gonna have food. They have food there. I'm gonna have some live music. Nashville's known for music, and I'll invite everybody, my friends, my family. Everybody's gonna be
You're just
there.
throwing a party,
So-
old-fashioned party.
Oh
Why
yeah,
not?
it's Nashville, man. Yeah.
I'll say one thing I do, I don't do the pies or anything, because I'm always like, I don't want people to eat what I'm spending money on. I brand campfire mugs,
Smart.
and in between Christmas and New Year's, I wrap it up in tissue paper, white tissue paper, put a sticker on it that says warm wishes, thanks for helping me have a great year, the Reed Realty Group, and then we drop it off to everyone we close, which it does get tiring.
That's Popeye, right?
It's a Popeye.
What is it one more time?
I'm not drinking
It's a
water.
campfire mug, like the
Oh,
bigger
yeah,
mugs.
yeah.
So we just pop by in between Christmas and New Year's and
Right.
drop them by. We route, make a route and do it. It takes a few hours.
Yeah.
I'd like a checklist.
But-
I thought a checklist earlier. I'd like a checklist for the optimal, like, and Heidi, you're kind of like the queen of this. And both, all you girls seem like you've kind of pretty figured out. I would like to see just a checklist, just so simple and stupid. Here's the 10 things you gotta do. You use this sign-up genie or something. Or you do this, follow up like this, make sure you have this.
Call
don't
this many days in advance.
Call this many days in
Well,
advance.
maybe if you watch
Text.
Jimmy's YouTube videos, you would see.
I watch it, but I just want a checklist. Cause I'm not. I don't want to actually do anything. You see, I want to say, hey, do that, and I'm just gonna.
Well, if anybody ever wants that, we can do that.
The most
We can
important,
type out the directions. You did give us the black book.
Yeah.
Andrew, the most important part of this is not the event. The
Right.
most
The
important part of this
invitation.
It's
is
the
the
talking.
process.
Yeah.
I
I didn't know
invite,
And not
the
talking.
follow
It's hard to wrap your
So
head
I've
around
already
that.
shit the bed on this one, and I'm
Yeah.
spending all this money on fireworks.
And you,
It's okay.
but here, when's your event? When's your event?
Next Saturday.
And,
Or this
and
Saturday.
Thursday,
Start
Friday,
now.
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday,
While
you're
you're
gonna
sitting in
call
the
and
airport
text like
today.
the son of a. Everyone on your
People.
team is gonna call and
Yes.
You're not going to Sawgrass.
You're
Yeah,
going
calling.
to. It is going to
You're not
be.
going golfing today, all right?
This is your.
Getting on the
This
phone.
is the excuse to reach out to them.
For something that's
Hold
not
on,
real
we're about
estate.
to have a fireworks event. Apparently, we're doing these events wrong. What's the key thing?
The key is the process, the invite, but the follow-up. But right beforehand, the 2 or 3 days before, you're going to text and call everybody that you're inviting. It's an excuse to reach out to them.
And not talk about
70%
Not
of the
talk
people,
about real estate.
and not talk about real estate. All you're saying is, we're having this. It's going to be fun. We'd love to have you there. We'd love to see you and get caught up with you. It's an excuse to reach out to your people, to stay connected, to build a stronger relationship.
How many units does your company sell a year?
Our company sells 13,500 units a year.
For how
with
much volume?
900 agents and 4.2 billion.
Figure it out. Call the people we're inviting.
Figure it out.
Oh God,
So we have all of our sphere on an Excel spreadsheet. So when we go through, we just like,
I'm sending that to the team. I have to. Sorry.
okay, this is part of the checklist.
Right.
You go through and you go through each person, you mark off who you talk to, you put a voicemail or whatever, and then you can do that with the follow-up too. And it's all right there.
I
you're
feel like
not
a
missing
checklist, the ReThink client appreciation checklist. I would find value in that. Like I would like to just take
Excel
it.
spreadsheet of this, so I just.
We-
It's so
we
easy
should
to
have
miss
one.
it.
We can do that.
It's
we-
so easy to miss it.
Yeah, all right.
Will you help facilitate that with these?
I think once you
Okay.
get your mindset that it's about building the relationship, you will be more successful. So you can invite 100 people, probably 25 of them will show up,
Yeah.
but call or text all 100 people.
Well, it's easy for 25 to feel like that wasn't success.
Yeah.
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 But it's
Yeah.
it's the invitation.
But the devil's in
Yeah,
the
it's
details. Like I would have
invitation.
never.
But I'm
Yeah.
going to tell you, they're saying 25%. That might be. I found 25 to 35%. That's the if you're expecting
100,
that
yeah.
because you got too many kids of it, you got people traveling, you got too many things going on in people's life. That's it. 30%, give or take 5%. That's what you're going to get,
Honestly,
right?
the way I got comfortable doing this was I thought of it like I had thought of my daughter's birthday parties when she was a kid. Like I want people to come. I want them to feel celebrated too, and I want them to feel included and involved. And when I took that approach to my client events, all of a sudden they just started getting fun because I wasn't selling anything. We're just celebrating, and so I literally followed the same steps I followed planning a birthday party for a kid. Reach out, call. Hey, you guys come in. I'm trying to work out the food numbers. Never discussed real estate. Didn't even feel like real estate. And then
Yeah.
people just started
I like
joining.
the pre and the post stuff is real good. Like afterwards, I do this.
Kyle, Duncan, anything real quick? Otherwise, then I want to get on the Popeyes and other things you're doing to build relationships.
I mean, about a month or so after closing, for all of my buyers, I always reach out and I'm like, hey, I know you just moved in, you're still getting settled in, but I really want to have a housewarming party for you and invite all the neighbors and everyone that's around you and all your family and friends and things
That's a
like
great
that.
closing gift.
Exactly. Unfortunately, I've only had it happen one time where it worked out because everyone was still scared of COVID last year and
Yeah.
people didn't want them coming in their
Yeah, so
houses.
some will do it, some won't. COVID's been a
Exactly.
problem.
Did you team up with a
Even
lender?
before COVID, some
I was
people
teaming
just
up
kinda
with
private.
Right, but has anyone else done that? Because I think that's a great idea to do that, right?
Yeah.
My luxury
And now you
buyers
get to
are
meet
when
all the
everyone
people,
else
you're
is
sitting
doing
there sometimes and they're like, this my agent, this my agent, this my agent.
Exactly. Especially
So-
when you do it in a subdivision, it's perfect.
So, Heidi, you brought this up. Luxury, you're having struggle with that, or you're actually having them do that?
it. My luxury buyers eat it. They love it.
They do, and
It's the people that are buying like the 300s that you work your ass off for. They're like, I don't really want to meet the neighbors. And it's like,
luxury, hire a private chef in their new house.
oh yeah.
Have them come in,
Well-
take you, way we do it is, because we want it to be that way, have them invite 3 other couples,
Yeah.
keep it
And
intimate.
so you get that tight sphere on the luxury, and you've got your spouse with you, or you're going into that where you're creating that relationship. 'Cause,
Yeah.
I mean,
So
there's something
you're
about-
having them do a dinner party with a total of 4 couples, not invite their 100 friends.
No,
Or
not
the
with
neighborhood.
luxury, because luxury, they're gonna, a smaller intimate, you're gonna build a tighter relationship, and people like.
You'll be there as the agent too?
I did
Yes.
that inadvertently. I didn't mean to, but my clients at the 1.3 million was what they spent, and they redid a room to be a cocktail smoking room. They don't smoke it, but that kind of setup. And so I offered to hire a sommelier to come in, and that group was smaller just by the nature, of who they invited. I didn't realize I was doing that, but
And you gotta understand, those 3 couples that they invite have the opportunity probably, if they have a relationship with you, to generate as much business as a room full of 40 other people that are 200,000.
The most successful one I ever did was a referral from Kristen Nelson, who I met in ReThink. And it was a 1.6, and it was like last fall or something. And these people came from New Hampshire, they didn't know anybody. So I was like, do you want to invite some friends? They're like, no. Do you want to come? Heidi, you're our only friend here. So we invited her neighbors. And my dear friend owns Raleigh Cheesy. I don't know if you follow her on Facebook, but it's she has 28,000 followers. So she comes and does a charcuterie at her thing, and then she posted it on her social media.
That's right.
Right? And then my sister-in-law is a sommelier, so she shows up. She has all this wine. We're doing salami and wine taste and cheese and whatever, and it's just fun and easy. And then real estate just comes up. But
It does.
It's my way to just get in on them.
There's a big difference when
But
people,
my
especially with
lower
people that
price points
are
don't like
new
it.
moving into your area like that,
Yeah.
where you're introducing them.
Yeah.
There's a big difference in someone saying, oh, this is Heidi, my realtor, versus this is Heidi, my friend.
Yeah.
And when you break
Yeah.
bread with people,
Yeah.
especially in a small group with other friends of theirs, or you're introducing them to friends, it's a total different depth to that relationship.
Yep. It's been good. And then she brought her neighbors that came there to my wine party.
It's perfect.
So now they're in my sphere, because now I have all their contact information.
Can't do it for everybody, but you can do it for the people you want to be friends with.
Yeah, so a lot of, I guess, what you guys have said, bits and pieces of it, I'm kind of already doing. I think the only 2 things that haven't been mentioned, I always try to work into the conversation while I'm showing houses and just try to figure out what their favorite beer is, because then I'll surprise them with it when I'm delivering the keys. Because in Ohio, keys actually don't get delivered at closing. There's a possession piece that happens a couple hours later when the transfer. So, I'll meet them at the property to deliver the keys with that beer that I, will remember from who knows how long ago when we had that conversation. So that usually impresses them. And then I'll send out for closing gifts now, sometimes it doesn't make sense, but for the most part, I do these really custom cutting boards that I found on Etsy. Just real large, they're cherry, they're laser engraved with their names on them and the date of when they closed on their house. And they say like home sweet home, and then if you flip it, it has just like a really small laser engraving of my contact information at the bottom. And those seem to go over really well. I always get like a really good thank you for the cutting board, and that's one of those things that hopefully they'll keep forever, because it's really a piece that they're not going to use in their kitchen. They're probably going to hang it on their wall or something because of how nice it is, and so I've learned that those go really well.
Nice.
Anything else you guys are doing? I heard pop buys, anything else you're doing to build, you guys believe that are helping you build
I
better
bring everything,
relationships?
so I'll tell you some of mine. A couple months ago, my brother owns a carpentry business, and one of his guys that I didn't know walked in with his sweatshirt on and was going to a different agent, and I was like, that is never going to happen again. So I branded carpenter pencils, and I took them all out to their job sites. So now they use mine instead of buying their own.
See, Sarah's just bubbling up with good ideas.
That's your builder.
So yeah, if anyone has builders.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Oh, carpenter pencils?
Yeah. Super cheap. Yeah, the flat ones.
What else? All right, give us another one. That's a good one. Let's get another one.
I have backpack coolers, branded. I use that for closing gifts and when people come at you for fundraiser baskets.
Yeah.
So I stuff it full of.
Where do you make all this stuff? Like you made these awesome water bottles.
Oh, this is a local girl, but the backpack coolers were 4imprints.com. The carpenter pencils were probably 4imprints or discount.
Foreign?
Four.
The number 4.
Does Berkshire have
imprints.
a relationship with them? 4imprint? That's a big company. 4imprint. I've seen theirs.
I'm pretty sure. Not that I'm aware of.
Four.
It's not of the Exceed.
Express Docs has
Anybody
a lot.
doing, here's a question, we've talked about so many over the years, we've heard so many good ones. Anybody doing coffee cup sleeves? Remember that, Vince?
Well, we talked about that
Talked about last night.
last night.
Last
That
night.
Megan Owens does it, that started with Margot out of.
That's
Village.
right, that's
Yeah.
right.
And Kristen
yeah.
Nelson
Okay.
does it.
And Chris, yes.
Yeah.
She buys the coffee, right, Kristen?
Buys the sleeves.
She buys the sleeves, but
Margot
if you
and Megan buy
go
the
there, I think
sleeves.
the coffee's free for her
On
client.
What
certain
some of them
days
did
of the
So
give
what
away
she
some
did, yes,
promotions.
she was not buying this, she was buying the sleeves just for that day, I think, but the other ones got it all the time, it's on the sleeves, but she was doing it, there was a couple people that were saying, it actually wasn't even, it wasn't, no, she just went and sat there and just bought coffee for everybody from like 9 to 11,
Yeah.
didn't even invite people, and met
Whoever
people,
shows up in the coffee
introduced
shop.
herself to people at the coffee shop, just sitting there, and so,
Yeah.
but Megan owns,
Yeah,
some
galleries
people will
do
just
that.
go and do their work for an hour or 2 hours in the coffee shop, just to meet people, on a regular basis. They're like, you know what, I'm gonna be sitting here hammer stuff out on my computer, I'm just gonna go to Starbucks or this coffee shop and just, you know.
On the sleeve conversation, I haven't done coffee sleeves, but one thing I'm trying this year, so I go to this big country music festival that's hosted locally every year. There's like maybe 30,000 people that go to it. You know, they get some big names. Like Morgan Wallen's gonna be there this year. But I ordered like a ton, like 500 of just koozies that say, when you're sober enough to sign, give me a call. I'd love to help you out.
Oh my gosh,
And,
that's
and 'cause we
awesome.
always camp on like the main drag where like everyone kind of flows through you
That
to
is
get to
good.
the concert. So I'm just gonna throw those everywhere. You know?
When you're
Kyle, that is awesome.
I kind of forgot about that. I'm glad someone said
That's
that.
good.
And how do you distribute them? Are you just handing them out? Or how
Yeah,
do
so
you-
so where we camp is like kind of this main drag to where like probably 20 of the 30,000 have to kind of walk past us, so
Yeah.
to speak, to get to like where the festival area is, because a lot of people camp there. So that's going to be where I'm just distributing them. Is just
Hey, you look like
Just
throw
handing them out?
Just have
Yeah.
just, some bucket. People just grab them on their way by.
Yeah.
So great.
That is awesome.
That is really
So
smart.
with
I
our
like that.
closing
How's
gift,
it going?
I always want people to cry because I want them to think it's such a good
Yes.
experience. So all of our listings, we do a watercolor that my neighbor actually paints. Well, not my, she's the next neighborhood, but anyway, and people like that it's a local artist. So I just get them the picture off the MLS and she paints it, and it has a 90% cry rate.
So
And on the back of it is my logo.
talk about why it's so important. You shared that before, like with our group. Talk about, give it that example of what those
The
rooms.
story behind
yeah.
this? All right, so this exact house. So this guy found me on social media. So he trusts me, but he doesn't know me, and I don't really know him. And through the process, I found out that his daughter snuck out from up here to go meet her now husband. His first wife told him on the front steps here that she didn't love him anymore and she left him. And then his second wife died of cancer, and he found out she had cancer when she was in that room, right? So like all these things happened inside of this home, right? And I don't know this guy. And then these things just start coming out, and then when you hand him this beautiful painting, I mean, his life changed inside of this house. His whole
So
family's life
Heidi, he
changed.
was the
inside of
seller?
this. He was the seller, yeah.
About to make me cry.
But that's something
Right,
that,
huh?
I mean,
Chicken
he's
skin.
got in his house, and,
Maybe I'll.
he's
So I
gonna have
do
all those-
pictures.
It's like it's $90.
Similar, but only for buyers. Like, here's your new home. Like,
See,
I think I need to start doing them for sellers too. I'll
Sellers-
show you what ours
More
looks like
memories
for a
Sellers-
seller. I should
I would
Sellers
kill.
get
I would
way more.
kill for the family house that I grew up in. The family farm that we
Yeah.
sold. I would kill for something.
I
like
need
that.
to.
It's been gone for 10 years, but so many of my memories of my kids' memories are from my, or from that house I grew up in, where my parents' grandkids, my children spent and had Christmases. That's the kind of stuff there. That does not get that holds a
Priceless.
special place,
Yeah.
and that's one of those where when you get to their heart, you got them for life.
Yeah, for life. And then also it comes in a frame, and on the back of the frame has my logo on it, right? It's just like, it's a stamp, it's fine.
Do you do that for sellers only or sellers and buyers?
Sellers only.
Okay.
I've done it for buyers twice. Both of them were homes that were rehabbed. So like one was built in like 1915, and then it was rehabbed, and so it's like the original house, what it looked like. And then so when they sell it, then they have the house of what it looked like when they sold it and when it was originally built, which was kind of
What do you pay her to paint those?
$90,
Okay.
and my frame is $10. I mean, it's not a stunning
In my
frame.
house, she gave me.
Oh,
one when I bought mine.
when Molly bought her house, I got her one with her favorite quote on
And I
it.
cried like a little baby.
See, 90%.
What about the buyer side? That's seller side. What do you do on the seller side or on the buyer side?
Buyer side's normally swag, and then like if they come up like my favorite beer or like my favorite champagne or whatever. So it's always
Personalized.
it's always the normal stuff and then a personalized gift. But I don't do that. I just tell my assistant what to do, and she goes out and does it and makes it all beautiful. She has it for me on my desk on closing day, so I can just take it and run.
Curtis, what are y'all doing closing gifts wise? Anything in
I was just trying to pull it up on my phone. Really
Tiffany
quick.
wine glasses,
That's right.
the blue box.
I think a lot of it kind of your thing too. Kind of depends on who the client is. A lot of times we'll do like a dinner on us type of thing if it's a new couple. I love the little print. When I pull it up, I'll show you what it looks like. But it's similar to that, but it's black and white. My assistant or TC does it all, and it's really cool. They put like a tagline, and those go over really well. But I'm kind of all over the place. I'll do gift cards somewhere, but I always do like a handwritten card, and a lot of times just hand deliver everything. I think that's pretty.
Presence is the gift.
I love the upper end, they'll bring the chef in. Shannon
That's
does a
really
big
cool.
basket, she put a bottle of Dom in there, she do a bunch of other stuff, but I think they bring the chef in is actually,
I used to do
price
that.
point.
You got a
I
captive
used to
audience
do
in 2
that.
hours.
you used to do the
I used to do the
baskets.
private chef. My buddy was a private chef,
Yeah.
and every buyer I'd say, "Hey, I'm going to show them this be an experience. Invite a couple. You could. I never win.
Oh, good.
I'd say, "Hey, invite
gotta
a couple."
go.
I know I should.
But
You gotta
And
go.
we did it for 4, and the private chef shows up, and then I just pop by before he gets there, and I bring him like a bottle and say, "Hey, have a good time tonight."
Yeah.
And just leave. But that was like, dude, I'd get so much love on social media. Like, can you
Yeah.
believe my agent did this?
Yeah.
Unum's the man. Oh my God, we had this delay.
But haven't you, when you've
That's
had
probably
those
300
experiences though with the clients, it's
Yeah.
that interaction.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because real estate typically comes up later. You know, it's one of those where it's like, where are you guys from? You know, it's the general conversation that you have,
Right.
and then ultimately, you know, it's more listening than it is talking, and
Yeah.
then you know, you're just literally like you're just slowly sneaking up in the grass. You know what I mean? I mean, the opportunity is going to come for you to share with them what you
Hey,
do.
do you want to sell that $10 million house? Yeah, you don't say.
It's
Our last 10 minutes, guys, so just open it up, not subject specific.
can we talk about what we give people for referrals?
Please.
Yes, I'd love to hear that.
Okay, so if they're local and it's not a realtor, we have these champagne bottles. I don't know if you guys have seen it on my social media, but they're silver glitter, and etched in it says, like, I think it says thank you, and then my logo's on it, and it looks so classy and so beautiful. And here's the story behind it. It's some winemaker. It's One Hope out of California. He made this wine, and it is solely to take care of his son who has some crazy disease that they can't figure out how to fix it. And so I am supporting this guy. Also, there's a tag on it that goes towards the person, and so it gives like the warm and fuzzies that I'm supporting this guy. It tells the whole story about his son and everything. And then these people, they hold it. I don't know anybody that's ever opened this bottle. I hope the wine's okay. Because it is
Yeah.
a celebration piece,
Right.
and it is so beautiful. At all of our events, like our rosé parties or whatever, our champagne parties, we have them like with lights that go up on it because it's so sparkly and beautiful. It's really
You
nice.
give them to everyone.
It's $50 if they give me a referral. So like if
Regardless
you're
if
just
it closes, you're like, thanks for the connection.
yeah, yeah, thanks.
How many people on the wine, and I apologize, how many people do you invite to your wine tasting?
Invite, I don't know, we have 300 show up.
Woman, 300 show up?
300 women.
Oh my God.
But what's the cost?
Nothing,
Curtis,
nothing, because everyone's bringing 2
Yeah,
bottles.
can I go?
Now, you did it were you the one that did it in a driveway?
Send me the
You did it in a
video.
driveway?
Driveway.
Someone did-
Basement.
I did basement.
She did the basement a couple weeks ago.
Okay. Someone did it during COVID, like, let's meet in the driveway.
I did driveways. I did all the driveway stuff during COVID, and we did wine tasting. I did them once a month. We would do a wine tasting.
Where are you holding that at?
My country club, my bougie club, y'all.
Hey.
How many people do you invite them?
This is our first year. We did 40.
Okay.
Came this year.
It's still a good number of people.
Yeah. It was,
Wow.
40's great, and they're women, the decision makers.
Yeah.
They are? Women are the decision
Oh,
makers?
yeah,
Hell yeah.
100%.
Hell
That's why my
yeah.
house is being remodeled, Andrew.
No, I would agree with that. Yeah. 'Cause I don't care. I'll just obey. I'm like, you'll be happy then?
My coach told me you have to get the wife to like you.
Yep.
That was one of the
Yeah.
first lessons I
Well,
learned in real estate.
that's like 2 decades of NAR statistics.
No, that is true. They're gonna make the
50
decision on that.
Yeah, like 55% of home purchasing decisions are made by the woman.
The woman.
I'm surprised it's that low.
Anything left that anybody has to say?
There, I don't know if you did it or you did it, but there was someone brought up the idea of IPA party, like IPA.
Oh,
Yes.
that's me,
RTY.
the I party.
Yeah.
What
So
was
my
it?
brother lives in Vermont. It's called the IPA party, but the logo was I party.
Yeah.
Like I party?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
But
and-
IPA.
And so my brother lives in Vermont, so we got all these
Dash.
IPAs that you can't get anywhere. Like he literally camped out for me to get these beers, and then whatever. So anyway, so we had them, and we invited couples, and we had a big tent, popcorn, charcuterie, like everything. It was a wild success.
You need my
It was
Elia
huge.
koozies for that.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Why, my kids
She
used
is-
to say, "Ale, yeah, we have the
Oh,
best
okay,
clients."
because that's my very first event I ever did was a
Yeah.
car walk, and I did everything was ale, yeah.
Yeah.
And people, I still see those koozies all over.
Yeah, it says, "Ale, yeah, we got the best clients."
Yeah.
But that was a really good one. It was actually a week before convention in Nashville, and then the world shut down. So it was like the last time I saw everybody.
It's our last hurrah.
So I'm gonna try that this fall, I think, or winter. Also, I love the holiday hayride Molly does. I would have been planning to do it, but then COVID.
This year I had like, I had over 200 people, I think I had like 217 people.
Yeah.
We did 7
That's
rides around the
amazing.
neighborhood. And I had a.
This is a
I
good
had
one.
Hot club, a hot chocolate truck come, and then I had Santa come, and I got the local, church down the street involved, and so, because the pastor like is a debt ringer for Santa, so he dressed up as Santa, and then, one of the moms groups brought, a book for everybody, so every kid got a book, and then I do a little tiny chocolate Santa, and on the back, I just take a label, like a regular, like, mailing label, and I print Happy Holidays, Molly sold it, and my website, and I stick it on the back of that chocolate Santa, and I put them in these cute, pillowcases that I have with my logo on them, and then I get all of my daughter's friends, they dress up cute like little elves, and they walk around and hand out chocolate to everyone, and then they hop on the, they get to do a hayride. I did a sign up genius, so I knew about how many people were coming, so you could sign up for a ride, and we did them every like 20 minutes or so, and I can put about 50-ish people, because I have a long bed, and then I turn on Christmas music, and we put Christmas lights on the trailer, and we literally just drive slowly, and so I
And your
also,
dad drives it, right?
My dad drives it, and then
Don't
we
kill
do
the
a,
kids.
and we have an umbrella policy for those insurance people in the room. The other thing is, in the neighborhood, and this is what's fun, for my newsletter that I send out, I do a Christmas light contest, and you win $500. And it's like, I think I've done it differently. Like a Rainbow Lodge is a really nice restaurant for wild game in the neighborhood, or I've done Amazon, whatever. But it's right around Christmas time, right? So the $500 goes a good way. Whoever wins the Christmas light contest wins that money. But the reason I even do the contest is I want people to put the lights up so we have something to look at while we drive.
Yeah.
And so it gets everyone involved. And so, yeah, it's been really fun. That's probably my biggest event. And it's awesome because I'll be out walking the dog and people will be like, oh, you're the realtor who does the ride. Like, that is exactly who I am in their minds. And that's
great.
Yeah.
So I was gonna say.
And that's a
sorry.
cheap
Go,
event.
go, go,
Cheap,
go.
cheap, cheap.
I was gonna say yeah, it's super cheap, but also a way to door knock or meet all the neighbors and not talk about
Yeah.
real estate. Hey, can you decorate your house? Because we're gonna have this hayride. Don't forget to come down.
Yeah.
And it's also bled into a 4th of July party now. Like, we do a little parade, and everybody puts their kids in the wagons. And what I do is right before 4th of July, I drop off like a little party pack at each front door of the kids, house I know have kids in the neighborhood. And I'll have like decor for your wagon. It'll have like the pinwheels. We put all kind of little stuff in there. And then we set up a time, and I put it in the newsletter. And we set up time, and everybody just parades their kids in their little wagons all the way around. We play music, and it's super fun. And then we're also building the communities we want to live in, right? We want to live places like this.
2 things real fast. One is, we as a company, if you could, as a company, or get someone to do this with you, do a car show the 2nd Saturday of every month, and we get 2,000 plus people there. We tell all of our agents, invite your clients there. It's Lambos, Ferraris, McLarens, and then you have classic cars. So
In your parking lot?
In our parking lot, it's filled, and then the 3 parking lots around us are all filled with people just coming to watch. And people, we tell people bring kids and everything. The last thing is, in regards to building relationship, guys, it's a technology piece, but HomeBot. Who uses HomeBot here?
Oh, I need to.
You gotta use HomeBot. We have a company contract because we have over 250 people, it's $12 a month, but even at $25 a month, it's worth it. Because HomeBot has we've seen internally a 65 to 70% open rate.
Is that where it says how much it
It's
has
kind of like a Zestimate, but you can go in,
It's a
you
full detailed.
you can go in there and play with it. You can see what they're looking at, they can request things. It is a great excuse to call people, say, I'm gonna this, you say, listen, it's like an estimate, it's not gonna be exact, but you can go in there and play with it. You can go in there and change it yourself, but go ahead.
So I met HomeBot at Explosion last year.
Yeah, they're good.
Yeah,
I just found out 2 seconds ago, that's why I thought about it. They're gonna be our event sponsor, so I made me.
They had a 90-day free trial period, and I signed up for it, and then I continued it. So I have a 97% open rate.
It's everybody opens it because they want to see what the value of the house is.
Yeah, and I've already, since last year, I've had 3 listings off of it.
What?
It's so easy.
It's $25 a month.
But I should
It's giving you something of value every single month
Yeah.
that, forget his number, that 70% of the people are opening.
So this
What
is-
email has a 70% open rate? No emails have a 70% open rate.
So my lender does.
My lender does it to me too,
So
and I open it.
this is
So
my
we did it as a
house.
brokerage, so people can use a lender or not use a lender, but brokers will, lenders are, this is intended for lenders initially.
Yeah, so you have to click on it. It says, this one is high demand and picking up quickly, and then you have to click here to see what's going on.
Oh, yeah.
The other thing, people have sent out QR codes in their neighborhood and said if you would like, that are not even part of this, that click on this and you can get a monthly estimate or estimate on your houses. So like, so
That's
QR.
your HomeBot?
HomeBot, yeah, you can do a QR code
And
to
then it also says-
connect to that, and then all of a sudden you're getting now additional people in your
You-
sphere that
So,
you didn't have before.
When
Do
I
you
first
use it?
joined Boomtown, the first thing I did was I put together a postcard that had the QR code that took them directly to my website, my Boomtown, so I could register as many people in my farm
I don't like
quickly
this
as I
price.
could. And I said, go here and it'll give you your home
house.
value. I got a lot of people send it that
And I
way.
wouldn't list my
Yeah.
house for $1 million.
But I mean, guys, 70%, 97 is crazy, but 70% open
only
rate.
one year.
That's good, and then you can go in there and see if they're active. If people are active, you need to
Tells
have
you
someone
what time to
monitor,
open it.
someone on your team needs to be looking at. If they're active, then someone needs to be calling them.
Even
So,
70% is
gee.
good.
70%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
30%.
It tells you
Here's
if they
what passes
calculate a
around.
mortgage, it tells you if they open
What do
it,
you
how
do
many
about when
times.
the prices are not what you'd list the house for?
That's when you make a CMO.
You want them to think it's
Yeah.
not, because then
Yeah.
they call
And
you
you
to
tell
give
them
an
it's
adjustment, and it should
So
say on
this is
the.
my house saying that it's worth $1 million. I'd list it for 875.
Yeah, that's,
So
yeah.
then I'm disappointing them based on.
But you can,
At least it starts the conversation.
you should
You
go.
can say it's a robot. This is why you don't
You can
trust a
go,
robot.
you can go in there,
Okay, I
but
like
you can
that.
go in there and make adjustments to
Say it's
it.
an
They can go in
algorithm.
there and make
Yeah, they
adjustments to
can,
it.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's Zillow's strategy, by the way,
Right.
that's what his estimate is.
I do have one thing too that's not really client appreciation related, but I'm trying it this year. I've gotten a buyer off of it, so it's already kind of paid for itself. Is I have a buddy who's a really successful wedding DJ locally. He does like 200 weddings a year, and so what I did was I had these like really nice handwritten note cards from corporate that, of course, I didn't want to handwrite 200 cards, and I couldn't figure out a way to get these through the printer because they kept tearing it up. So I actually bought this stamp that looks like handwriting, and I just sit there and go like
Good
that.
for
take one.
you.
They so I put it together just a really nice piece that's congratulations on your wedding. I put a $15 Starbucks gift card in there and said, if you need a little pick me up on your way to the honeymoon, here's, and then also if you don't have a relationship with a realtor, I'd love to help you out, to upgrade or to buy your first home together, blah blah blah. And I just put them all in these envelopes and gave all 200 of them to the wedding DJ, and he just gives them to his clients at the consultation.
That's brilliant.
Oh my gosh.
So, because I figured the wedding date's gonna be a little bit too
Life
busy,
event.
so I have them do it at
So
the consultation part, like when they're signing the contract with him. Yeah, I mean, it's going well so far. I mean, it's obviously real early wedding season in Ohio because
I bet you could also do that with retirement homes, right? Because people are moving in there and it's like, what are we gonna do with mom and dad? And then you can just have that listing.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching the video. I specifically chose the video below for you because it builds on the one you just watched. I hope it's helpful, and I'll talk to you soon.